start with a piece that I want to call the divinity in begging, the beauty of a beggar, the benefits of begging. And I hope that I go as deep as I want to go with this particular piece. People know pretty much by now that I ask for donations over the internet. I send out messages and I allow people to donate. And I never really see it as begging, but I'm asking people to donate and help out what I'm doing, because I devote all my time, energy, labor, and resources in bringing this divine, black, supreme message to everyone that is viewing it and everyone that is getting it. I spend all my time doing that, and it helps advance and accelerate the mission that I have when people donate and show their support and help us to move forward. So I don't sell anything. All my information is for free. It's all on YouTube. You can even join my website for free at www.kingnobleBlackRulership.com, which may be down right now, but I got to get back up and running. Once again, the need for donations. But everything I have to offer is absolutely free. We don't sell or charge for anything. So how we run is we allow people to donate freely, voluntarily, of their own will, so that we can use those resources to keep our machine well oiled so we can be effective in getting this message across. So I never see that as begging, but I ask, and I ask vigilantly. Your mythological fairy tale book says, ask and it shall be given to you. It's an old saying that a closed mouth doesn't get fed, and that if you want something, the best way to achieve it is to ask for it. That was never really looked at as begging. But if you ask people repeatedly and you ask consistently, some people will come to the conclusion in their own mind and they will call that begging. But I lack the pridefulness in my asking that I'm not even offended to be called a beggar. And that's what I want to talk about in this particular piece. Because when we talk about begging or asking, we talk about going beyond pride and going beyond our ego. Because most of the times we feel like we're better than everybody else. So if we would hate to ever have to really ask somebody for something or to need something from anyone else other than ourselves, because that would mess with our ego and how we feel better than others. So to get to a point of where you can actually ask for what you desire, you would have to actually go beyond your own ego. There would have to be some sense of selflessness and some egolessness to truly ask. That's why the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, had to find out about enlightenment. He first had to become a beggar. One of the most important stages in him overcoming his ego and becoming selfless was him becoming a beggar. We know that the Buddha was an emperor, was a descendant of royal lineage. He was a prince that wanted to understand the cycles of life. So he had to leave his palace, and he walked among the homeless, the destitute, and the poor, so that he can understand the cycles of life, to try to escape death and disease and dishappiness and suffering. This was his goal and his objective once he became aware of it, when he left the comforts of his palace. And he became a beggar on the side of the road, and he begged for his rice and his meals, where he spent most of his time meditating as a sadhu, as a somewhat like a yogi, a devotee to enlightenment. He sat there and he begged daily, and it was in his begging that he went beyond egolessness, and he found the moderate way, the middle way, the way of not extreme, the way of balance. So he had to become a beggar to be enlightened. So there's a divinity in begging, because you're going beyond the materialistic identity of one's own self, the false projection, the false perception. You're humbling yourself to receive from others, and you're dealing with the harsh fact that you are not better than anyone else. Most of us could never see ourselves begging. We would never want to beg, because that would make us feel less than, better than everyone else. And we would not want to tolerate that. We would rather be slaves, and we would rather have ourselves exploited than to just simply ask for the things that we want. We would not even simply receive the things that we ask. We would feel more comfortable if we were exploited than if someone gave us something that we asked for. This is how egotistical we are. That's a problem. If we had more beggars in the world, we would have less crime. We would have less vanity. We would have less crimes of pride. I even call them crimes of pride. You got crimes of passion. You also got crimes of pride, where people are just so prideful that they end up doing unnecessary things to maintain the false ego that they have. That's why we have so much extreme materialism in our society. People can't pay their rent, can't feed their children, but they have very expensive clothes, very expensive vehicles, and expensive watches. Are very materialistic, but their rent is due. Some don't even have a house, and they live in their car just to maintain a certain image. We live in a very egotistical society. We need more beggars, more people to become beggars, more people who just have the courage to simply ask for what they desire, to humble themselves before the world, before everyone, to receive from humankind, from humanity. I don't think there's no better path than that, with the type of egotism that's going on in this society today, which is one of our major problems. I think we suffer from egotism as a society. That's one of the main diseases. So as we become beggars, we understand something about humanity that you cannot perceive in any other category, any other walk of life that you would be in. If you knew how kind people actually were and experienced the kindness in the world, you could not be mad. The beggar knows the kind. The prideful lives in an angry world where they believe it's a dog-eat-dog world and that everyone is selfish and no one wants to give, which is really not true. But that's why they're so selfish and keep everything to themselves, because they believe they live in a world where nothing's for free and no one gives anything. So they're prideful and they're angry in their pride and they're very isolated, very individualistic. But the beggar knows that human compassion rules the world, that the world are full of compassionate people, and that you can even fall on your face unless you are overwhelmed with too much pride to receive. Those who fall on their face are very prideful, but the world, the universe itself, is a security blanket. And if your pride don't get in the way, you'll fall in that security blanket. That this perfect web, based on universal law, based on the law of compensation. The universe is as nurturing as the womb of the black woman. It is an existential womb. It is the macrocosmic womb of all beings. And this womb you will continue to exist in. This organic womb is your oxygen, is your water, is everything that you need, but not just in the natural way as far as the elements are concerned, but also in the social way. Socially, everybody is taken care of and they have absolutely nothing to worry about. The only thing that can block you from seeing this and knowing this and experiencing this is your own pride. Your pride to think that you are something greater than this interdependent cosmic web that we call life. Some think they are better than that and that they don't need it. They're needless and that they exist somehow in and of themselves, separated from everyone else. They find it shocking that this conscious universe, this conscious living organism knows all of their thoughts and is ready to render to them everything they desire through either themselves, some event, or through someone else. It works in very mysterious ways, but to the conscious mind, there's no mystery in it at all. They find it hard to accept that. So by them not embracing this interconnected, organic nurturer called the universe itself, they would throw themselves at the feet of the white supremacists that feel dignified that they have exploited and prostituted themselves for only what one group of people has to offer. And this group of people make them feel very dignified and very human-like because they take what this particular group has to offer. For example, if I ask you for donations, you say I'm begging, but all day on YouTube, on television, on cable, on radio, consumers are asking you to buy their products. You know what? They're begging you to buy their products. If they felt that outright begging would be the ultimate marketing strategy, you will see commercials with them just outright getting on their knees saying, buy my car, please. They will do anything to get a sale. That's how desperate and vigilant they are. They are begging you for your attention when they throw a commercial in your face every 5 seconds and every 5 minutes. They're begging you, but it doesn't look like begging because it's your slave master. Because they're white, because they're white supremacists, because it's corporate America, because it's business, because it's all of these high things or things that you associate with being of great significance or great importance. But nonetheless, it's begging. And it's not looked at as begging. It's looked at as you have a product to offer. But what if I don't want your damn product? Must you continue to beg me to buy it? That's their job. They spend billions of dollars on marketing to find different ways to beg you to buy what they have to offer. Even though you have probably the money to purchase it and they even have an actual product to sell you, they still beg you ceaselessly to buy their product. But if I ask you to open your mind and open your consciousness and support the most powerful and most profound thing that has ever happened to the black race, which is black supremacy, which is true black self-realization, black enlightenment, black nation building, and black empowerment. If I ask you to open your mind and support and donate and no longer give resources to your white slave master and give it to those who look like you that are building something for your own benefit, those that are not only building something for your own benefit, but they're also destroying the world of your enemy. They also are destroying white supremacy. They're destroying the enemy that has destroyed your ancestors and your people. If I ask you to give to that, I'm reduced to a beggar. Then you know what? I should be a beggar. Because that is the most enlightened state to exist in a world where people don't wait to receive. They'll just take what you have to offer, even if they have to use super hyped up and elaborate complex marketing schemes to cheat you out of what is yours. Build up desires and build up needs in you that you don't even have, to overwhelm you with your own emotions to buy a product that they have for you. You call that legitimate. So if someone offers you something, particularly for your people, they don't even offer, they give it. And you see them continuously giving it, and they ask you to support so this giving can be even more expanded. That is, this giving can be even more consistent, more persistent. You say, we are beggars, we are begging you. Well, we need to be begging you. And begging you is better than sticking you up. It's better than hitting you over the head and making you feel like, for some strange reason, what we have is all that you really want because you saw the commercial 15 times. We're just asking you. There is enlightenment in begging. Begging is the most humble and the most sincere request for something that is needed. When you get to the point where you must beg, you have got to the absolute honest point. You have got to the very near end where you have to break down and ask for what it is you desire. When all schemes fail, when you cannot go another day without food, with all of keeping your ego going, because you want to feed your stomach and your ego at the same time, but usually your stomach is empty at the expense of maintaining your ego. So when you can't go another day, you will have to break down and ask those who have abundance of, and those who are at a point of prosperity to give to you. That is your most sincere, most honest, most real point, and your most connected point to the reality of this self-sustainable, interdependent universe that we live in. Now, I want to talk about prosperity, because some people have got it twisted. They get into this prosperity consciousness, and they look at people who don't have as negative as a Christian looks at a sinner, as a Muslim look at an infidel. They look at it as a Buddhist looks at an unenlightened man. This new prosperity movement looks at those who don't have as something wrong, not understanding the cycles and stages of the universe. Even the hardest working planner has cycles of reaping and sowing. Am I correct? He must harvest what he plants, and he hopes that what he plants renders to him what is needed in abundance. But he goes through cycles of drought, and he goes through cycles of plenty. Every individual that is inside of the universal law, which is the only real law beyond Newtonian physics, universal law. Every human being at different points in their experience will go through cycles of having and cycles of not having. Cycles where what they have is demanded or scarce, and what they want is in very great need. Every individual will go through this point. All your millionaires, billionaires, people who have, can attest to periods they went where they did not have nothing, but they attribute those points to the process needed to where they got to something. So, just because we have a prosperity consciousness, we realize our thoughts create our own reality, will not remove the fact that we will go through different stages of having and not having, wealth and abundance and scarcity. All of us will go through different stages, and we will need each other in these different stages. We will need this security blanket, this social security blanket of human consciousness that exists on this planet to help provide for us and take care of us in these different cycles and stages that we may pass through. There is no escape. And while you may laugh on the cycle of another and make mockery and joke of it, yours will be soon. Just because the drought is not in your town right now, don't mean that the tornado or the hurricane is not on its way. So those who make fun of those who go through their different stages of reaping and sowing and harvesting, those are the fools who know not their own, where their own path leads to. So I don't care how much prosperity consciousness you got and how much you're about abundance and the law of attraction, your ass is gonna go without at some point. That's just the way it works. It's cleansing. Everything you have, you lose. So you're cleansing yourself of those things to make room for the new things that you want to attract and you want to manifest. That's the way the universe is. That's why human beings recycle on the earth, because you need new consciousness, new beings, new attitudes, new creative ideas. The planet is all about newness. If everyone was immortal since the beginning of time, there would be no place on earth for human beings to stand. It would be completely overcrowded. That's the same with the things and the stuff in your life. If you did not lose any of it, you would have no place to put the new thoughts that you attract. So you must go a certain time without, so that you can make room for the things that you want to attract in the future. That time when you go without, Some could consider poverty, lack, not having, and some may even call needy, and refer to those in those states who ask for others to support them in the cycle where they wait for their harvest as begging. Well, I hope that you become a good beggar when you go through your cycle. I hope that you are not too proud to ask, even if it's considered begging, to receive what you desire. There is nothing wrong with asking others for assistance and help, particularly when you have obliged and are willing to oblige yourself to be of help to others in their time of need. All the time that we have been building and our nation building, we continue to provide free food, clothing, and shelter for those of whom are in need that contact us. This is a consistent services that we have provided no matter how much we've had or haven't had. So we have the authority to ask because we act as, represent, and we support a community that is even bigger than ourselves. So we have the authority to ask because those who have authority, those who give, have the authority to receive. That's a reality. And anyone has many negative things that they can concoct and make up in their own mind based on the relativities of their own consciousness. They cannot accuse us of being selfish, not giving, not sharing, and not coming up with ways to do more than our own selves. So we have the authority to give. Short of all that, we are proud beggars because we know that those who give are of compassion, are of concern, and are the only real people that are left on the earth. So by asking, we are attracting those that are real, sincere, and compassionate, which are those that give. Those that refuse to give, we are repelling. Those who lack compassion, who don't see abundance, who are selfish, who can't see more than themselves, who can't embrace or support anything outside of their own mediocre, survival, primitive existence. They cannot support anything other than that. Those people we are repelling. They will be very upset by us asking. They will be insulted that we would expect them to go beyond their own needs, that we would expect them to be more than an animal in a cave, that would give and contribute to the higher ideals of other social groups, other conscious humanitarian groups, other human beings, collectives with ideas and creating a better world. They are insulted that they would be expected to help any of those other groups, institutions, or ideas. Why would anyone want them to do more than feed, clothe, and take care of their own selves comfortably under white supremacy? Why would anyone expect them to do more than that? So they are insulting. So by us asking, we are repelling individuals like that. And even if individuals cannot give, when we ask, we can tell how sincere they are by how they react to us asking. We can tell what type of person they are and where they are situated at. And those who cannot give financially, if their heart is right, we can come up with other ways that we can barter, exchange resources, put together resources, and work together in a way where we can improve the lives and the condition of our people, and we can build a stronger organization and a stronger nation. We allow that to happen. So it's not just about money and people donating resources, but this is a self-realization quest. And it's also a way that we can realize others, where they stand, what their position are, who they are, and what energy they choose to vibrate and manifest in this particular time. There's enlightenment in begging. Do not be afraid to beg. If you are in the masses of the asses, those who run people over to deliver themselves to their oppressor, thinking that they are actually accomplishing and doing something that is better than what those who are just willing to ask their brother and sister for the assistance they need in order to accomplish the goal and objective that they have. Those others will feel comfortable being the meat and being the test dummies for an exploding Babylonic experience, because Babylon is falling and it is burning up. And if that is your only support system that you have, may you fall with the next set of World Trade Centers that fall down. That's just the reality. You going down with the beast if you are very dignified, and that being the total scope of your reality to the point that you cannot co-create, unify, and support the brotherhood and the sisterhood of black supremacy. But that will cover my part on begging.